Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto was too advanced for his age. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also, stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way. I'm going to be posting over on Anime King and Anime King 3. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you're hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and join each and every one of them, guys. The link will be down in the description for Anime King and Anime King 3 for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, without much further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last part we left off, the masked man never attacked the village. So Naruto had his parents who are both living. Minato thought about how difficult it would be to send his son on mission knowing that he could get hurt out there. He decided to go over the academic curriculum as he was going to change it up a bit. As he went to Sarutobi and showed him his proposal. As Sarutobi 100% agreed with this, they need to change up and go a different route to make the kids had more understanding before they even grew up. As for one Yujeo, as she heard about that. As she heard that the fourth Hokage, most like every other female in the village, they had a crush on their leader. As she wondered if she was going to have someone like that special one day. As the time passed, as Naruto grew up, he turned 4 years old. The boy was strangely advanced for his age. Yes, as Minato was shocked by Naruto's chakra potency. He had so much chakras he was able to hold his focus for 8 minutes. Naruto became friends with Neji Hyuga as Naruto was 2 years old than Hinata and Shikamaru. Him and Neji was the same age. He became friends with Hinata and Shikamaru as well, but he didn't want to spend much time with Shikamaru as he afraid that he would get too lazy. The Hyuga incident was stopped as a Kumo ninja tried to kidnap Hinata, but Naruto was there as he ended up screaming out, "What are you doing with Hinata?" That caused the guards to come and quickly disable the man, so he was not able to kidnap Hinata. As Naruto continued to train and grow, as his father was also teaching him, Naruto was almost kidnapped by stone ninjas, as it seems that they had found out about Minato's child. But Minato and Kakashi went after them. The ninjas didn't even stand a chance. Minato was furious as he obliterated the man. Yes, easy taking him down as he brought Naruto back. They were going towards Kumo, Minato and Kushina, and also the Hyuga's delegates to talk about the recent events and try to come to some peaceful understanding. And Naruto needed to be watched, so he assigned Team 2. Team 2 that consists of Yujeo, Kurenai, and Genma. Their sensei was Aoba. When they got there, they thought Naruto was going to be a spoiled child because he was the son of the Hokage. They thought that he was going to try and boss them around and tell them to do this and do that. But to their surprise, he was polite, kind, and a wonderful boy. That surprised many of them, yes, as they never expected this at all. As they picked the perfect job as they were here, as he showed them around the manor. And he also asked if he could join in on their training, which they greatly accepted as Aoba was able to train Naruto as well. As Naruto was delighted for that, as the more he learned, the more he continued to grow. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? After a little tour from Naruto, he told him to feel at home and that he would be in his room reading one of his books. Kurenai already seen an opportunity to spend the week. She asked if she could go with him, which he told her yes. As Genma and Aoba went to spar a little bit in the garden, Yujeo went to practice some Kinjutsu kata by herself. Time passed as Naruto was currently inside his room, as him and Kurenai was looking at the library. Kurenai was surprised that he had so much books. She could understand why he was so bright for his age, as she picked the one on strategy and tactics. As Naruto went over his chakra control, as he read it over in the book, moved on to the next step. As Kurenai found out that his parents bought him out of books, and he was thankful for them, as she told him that he was very, intelligent for his age. It caused him to blush, as she couldn't believe how cute he was. A few hours later, everyone was having dinner together, as Kushina had left behind food for them, and it was placed in the freezer. It was only up to Naruto to warm it up, as they talked about a lot of things. Well, actually Naruto was just curious, as he started to ask about their missions that they went on together, and he also asked about their abilities. Needless to say, Naruto's eyes widened every time Genma and Kurenai described the fights, while Kurenai misled the enemy. Naruto didn't like to hear about the first, infamous D, they call it. Gen means get pure D rank missions, and they were just boring. Aoba had to intervene, as the team would show Naruto the wrong ideas about D rank missions, seeing that they didn't like it at all. As he told Naruto that these missions exist to improve teamwork between Genins. After that was over, they all went to sleep as Aoba took the room closest to Naruto's to make sure that Naruto's okay, as he wouldn't risk anything at all in case anyone tried to attack or kidnap the boy. The stone already knew about him, and he promised Hokage that he would watch Naruto and make sure that he was safe. The next morning, Naruto started his morning exercise routine, as he had learned from his father how to activate the weights. Pulsing his chakra, Naruto's knees banged instantly. Naruto pulled himself back upright as he started to stretch his limbs. He then started to walk. It was hard at first, but he slowly started to jog as it turned into a run, as he started to get used to the seal despite it just being added on so quickly. After that was over, Naruto started to practice with a wooden dummy. Once he was finished, Naruto made his way back to the compound. Yujeu, Kurenai, and Genma were just getting up. Aoba had been awake a long time ago watching over Naruto, as the Genins wondered if their sensei ever sleep. But they were surprised that Naruto wake up this early in the morning and got to train already, and he was done. As Kurenai and Yujeu narrowed their eyes. For a 6-year-old kid, he didn't have any baby fat. He was pretty buff. Wow, Naruto, your father told me that you work hard, but I never thought it would be to the extent of placing a gravity seal on you, said Aoba as he looked at Naruto. Do you do this every single day? Well, pretty much, said Naruto. Wait, what? Said Genma. Well, I start with 30 laps around the compound, followed by 100 push-ups, then 100 sit-ups, then 2 hours of practice in my taijutsu with a training dummy. Oh, and I do all of this with the gravity seal on, which increased my body weight up to 20, Naruto explained. After that, I eat breakfast and then I read my books. I also play shogi with my mom. Then I practice chakra control and jutsus in the afternoon. Team 2 eyes were widened as they couldn't believe that Naruto was doing all of this. Needless to say, they were beyond impressed about his determination. Genma wanted to fight Naruto to see how he would stack up, while Aoba was looking at Naruto like he was a perfect student. After a break, as Aoba was to train Naruto, so he wanted to see what Naruto level was. So he called Genma for the both of them to spar. Naruto was smiling from ear to ear at the thought of sparring against a Genin to test his skill, knowing that he was 8 years older than Naruto. Naruto was just 6 after all, as he wouldn't go all out on him. He would just test him to see how far he has come. Little did he know that Naruto turned the gravity seal off. Aoba told him to begin, as Genma charged towards Naruto. Genma started with some mid-level punches, as Naruto could see the speed of the attack as he managed to defend while attacking Genma in the stomach and on his side. As the others were watching the spar, even though Genma was going all out, Naruto was predicting and blocking. Genma jumped back as he decided to add ninjutsu. Going through handstand, he released a small fireball. Seeing this, Naruto did one of the only jutsu that he knew as he exchanged himself the log. Genma saw the substitution and congratulated Naruto in the fast, thinking, okay, that's enough, Naruto. Good job in the substitution. I can see that you're going to be a great shinobi once you grow up, said Aoba, as Yujeu, Genma, and Kurenai nodded. So, Naruto, we're going to be focused on your chakra control during this week, and also teach you some jutsus. Now I understand you already master the substitution and the transformation jutsu, is that right? Naruto nodded. Alright then, the clone jutsu would be logical after that. Then I'm going to teach you a D-rank jutsu that is very common amongst Jonin and Onbuts. It's called the Sunshin. With it you can instantly vanish from where you are and appear in a different place within seconds. The farther you want to go, the more chakra you need. It will be a very handy technique. I heard about this, Naruto said, and it's said that it's incredibly difficult for, well, Genins. That's the thing, people only start to go into it at low level Chunin, but it's because of the chakra, and since you have so much chakra, I believe you can do it without much effort on your body. But first, I'm going to teach you a very advanced chakra controlling exercise. It's called tree climbing. How is it that climbing trees would improve my chakra control? Naruto asks. As you remember reading something like that on his book. By channeling chakra to your feet, you can stick your feet on a tree and just go up like you're just walking. Look, I'll show you, said Aoba, as he made his way up a tree, as he stopped right in the center, looking at Naruto. Man, that's so cool, said Naruto. Wait, how long did they take to learn this exercise? As Team 2 was currently sparring over to the side. Well, out of the 3 Genins in Team 2, Kurenai was the first one to learn this exercise. She completed it in 2 days, since her chakra control was better than the rest. Eugeo was second, finished it in 3 days and a half. Genma was last, finished it in 4 days. But still, they're 8 years ahead of you, and their chakra control is already better, even if your chakra control is already amazing for a person your age. But then again, I don't know if you can complete it this week, so I'll give you a deadline of 1 month to learn it. The reason being, I want you to focus on the E-rank jutsu as well, and also the Sunshin, and grasp better control of your chakra. So what do you say we give it your first try? Upon hearing the authorization, Naruto made his way toward the tree, as he added chakra to his feet and stepped on. He only made it 2 steps before he was blown back, as he used too much chakra. Man, that hurts, said Naruto. Sorry, Naruto-kun, said Aoba. I should have told you, using too much chakra would cause it to repel you from a tree, and using less will make you slip off. If you don't want to fall off again like that, try training and evasion techniques. When you feel like you're gonna fall, use a tree for balance, and land on your feet. As he practiced some more, as he only managed to get 4 steps up, as Aoba decided to work on the clone jutsu. Because of Naruto's high chakra output, the clone came out white and unconscious, as Aoba told him to do it again, but the same thing happened. Aoba stood there with a confused look on his face. He hadn't seen anything like this before, as he thought of a way to help the young prodigy. Perhaps Naruto's chakra control needed to be improved much further before he learned this technique. When Eugeo decided to intervene, Aoba-sensei, what about the other one? The Shadow Clone Jutsu, she said. Aoba turned towards her. Eugeo, how do you know that technique? It's supposed to be a forbidden technique, he said. My dad mentioned it once to me, but he said he consumed a lot of chakra. Maybe Naruto here can do it. And this technique was still inside Forbidden Scroll because of the chakra consumption, not because it's too dangerous, said Eugeo. As Eugeo saw a big smile on Naruto's face. Please, Aoba-sensei, let me try it once, said Naruto. Let's see if it can work out. Alright, but you have to focus your Naruto with me. Naruto nodded as he was ready. Now, the Shadow Clone Jutsu is the same as the Clone Jutsu, but there are 2 differences. First, you have to use much more chakra, and the second, you don't have to focus on the image of yourself, but you have to focus on your entire body. Since a Shadow Clone has everything you have, from organs to chakra coils, the technique only needs this seal that I'm showing you right now. Alright, give it a try. As he didn't have to contain anymore, Naruto placed hand together in the cross seal. Shadow Clone Jutsu, he said, as suddenly smoke filled the area. When it cleared away, 4 clones, perfect replicas of Naruto, was standing there. As they all started to jump around, I did it. Not only did he manage a B-rank jutsu, he was also jumping around. Like he has a lot more energy to spare. Okay, Naruto, keep it down, my ears are killing me, said Aoba, as Naruto was still jumping around. And not just him, all of his clones were as well. Now, since you managed to do this technique, you already have a clone technique at your arsenal. Let's rest for today. Genma, let's see first if you manage the Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu, and the Fire Style, Grand Fireball Jutsu. Yes, Sensei, said Genma, as he went through hand sign and took in a deep breath. Fire Style, Grand Fireball Jutsu, he said, as all of them watched as that fireball blew up in mid-air. Ah, good job. Now the next one. Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu, said Genma, as small fireballs fire out in all different directions. Good work, Genma, said Aoba. Alright, I think we all deserve some well rest today, he said. He made his way towards the door, but his hand passed through it. What the hell? As he realized, release! As the door shimmered away, see Kurenai standing there with a big smile on her face. See, Sensei? I managed the illusional technique, false surroundings. I saw. Good job, Kurenai. Now let's head inside. I suppose everyone is hungry, especially Naruto, as he heard Naruto's stomach rumble, as he placed hand behind his head and laughed. Sorry about that. I guess the Shadow Clone Jutsu just quadruplate my hunger. Huh, guess my mom would be worried. She usually sighs, seems like I eat by myself. Imagine 4 times, said Naruto, making all of them laugh. Later that night, as Naruto was watching the full moon, he knew that the Hidden Stone hated his father, as he came out here to just vent away all of his troubles. Reason being, he knew that his father was the key in winning the war against Hidden Stone. But why are they after him? They must really hate his father so much to try to put him in danger just to hurt his father. And Naruto didn't want that at all. As he stared at the moonlight, it was so beautiful. As the light managed to brighten up a good portion of Konoha and bring the same brightness that the sun did. To him, this was just a sight to behold, as he remembered his father comparing them to wolves. Seeing like them, they were hypnotized by the moon. Meanwhile, Yujiro was struggling to get to bed, as she couldn't sleep at all. Seeing Naruto so advanced at an early age like that, it triggered a sense of competition with her. Funny, a 14-year-old Kunoichi competing with a 6-year-old genuine wannabe. But still, she did. It was the second day of the mission, and he completed that jutsu so quickly. As her father had, talked to her about it, she couldn't do it because her chakra reserves were too low. And splitting her chakra and chakra no jutsu, that wasn't safe for her at all. But he had so much chakra and he was able to do it so quickly. She sighed as she got out of bed as she couldn't sleep at all, making her way downstairs to get some milk or water. Upon reaching the kitchen, she noticed the moonlight was incredibly bright in here. When she noticed that the window was open as she saw him, he was just watching the moon. Who the hell is this kid, she wondered. Why can't he act like he's supposed to act like a child? Play with toys or something. No, he's here, looking at the moon. Just who are you, Naruto Namikaze, she wondered. While she was lost in her thoughts, Naruto heard something as he turned to see Yujiro in the kitchen. As Naruto sighed, she had the same look on her face that his mother had when he was first caught staring at the moon. You know, Yujiro-san, you have the same look that my mother did when she first caught me staring at the moon. Like what you just did, said Naruto. She snapped back as Naruto smiled at her. Sorry about that, Naruto-kun, she said. I was just wondering about something. Why aren't you sleeping? You will need to restore your energy for tomorrow's training, she said. Sorry for waking you, but every full moon I came here to watch it, said Naruto. It's just a beautiful sight, and I can't help but look at it, said Naruto. My father once compared me to wolf. Since out of the animals, wolves are the ones that enjoy the full moon. Every time I look at it, I forget everything that is bad in my life, and I can't help but feel secure while looking at it. It's okay, Naruto-kun. I was the one that couldn't sleep anyway. Why couldn't you sleep, said Naruto. Well, I'm a bit threatened by you. Threatened? Did I do something wrong, Naruto asked. I don't recall hurting you, and if I did, I'm so sorry about it, he said. What? No, it's not anything like that, Naruto-kun, she said. It's just, you're 6 years old, and you're so much ahead for your age. And I couldn't help but comparing, and trying to compete with you, she said. What the hell am I saying? Why am I even telling him this? I'm gonna sound crazy. A rival with me? But you're much stronger than I am. I watch your Kinjutsu and believe me, I don't want to get hit by such strikes, said Naruto. Thank you, Naruto-kun, but if you, a 6-year-old, is able to do a technique that I wasn't able to do at 14, you're pretty strong for yourself. I'm sorry, but this just brings out that competing side in me. Rivalry. It's very good for ninjas to grow stronger, Yujiro-san. But what about Genma-san? He's pretty capable. Genma is very strong and a capable ninja as well, but he's my age. The fire jutsu that you saw him doing was his first high-level fire ninjutsu. But you manage a B-rank jutsu at just 6 years old. Please don't take this the wrong way, but I want to consider myself your rival. Naruto looked at her and blinked. Really? Said Naruto. I mean, I would like to be your rival, but are you sure you want to? Yes, in fact we can train together. What do you say, with my Kinjutsu ninjutsu against your Taijutsu ninjutsu? It would be beneficial for both of us. I would get stronger and you would get faster. So, what do you say? Okay, said Naruto. As he still didn't know why the hell did she want to train a 6-year-old boy. Time skip. The next day, Naruto was, frightened, as he remembered Yujiro moved their blade. But it would also help a lot, seeing that the only rival that he had was Neji, and increasing his speed would help against the Byakugan. As he had to increase it, so he increased the weight. His knees buckled once again, but he got to his feet fully. Yes, he had to get faster quickly. He had to prepare himself for the challenge that Yujiro was going to put against him. As he started his morning routine, as this time he went a bit harder than before, thinking about the upcoming challenge. As Naruto came back dead tired, as he rests, and after a quick breakfast, as Yujiro was ready, the both of them made their way towards the training field. As the both of them gave each other a firm nod, Naruto created 3 clones and started to attack her as she pulled off her katana. She used the dull part and dispelled his clones. Naruto was shocked by her speed. He quickly removed his weights, as Naruto felt so much lighter, saying that he always had a constant weight, just a bit of something behind it, but now he completely took them down to nothing. But Naruto paused. He got images of him fighting Yujiro. What? It was his clones. What the hell? He couldn't wonder what happened as Yujiro rushed towards him. He quickly leaped out of the way, surprising her, as he pivoted on his foot and attacked her with the same mirth that he gave the dolls. Yujiro blocked Naruto punches with his sword holder as she was surprised. Yes, I knew that you would be strong, I knew it. Come on Naruto, let's continue this fight, she said. Aoba was the first one to arrive and he saw Naruto and Yujiro trading blows. Naruto was punching hard and Yujiro was defending with her holster as she started to slice after him with it, but he dodged and evaded. As he watched Naruto quickly substitute as Yujiro cut a log instead, as she turned to see Naruto a few meters behind her. I was right about you Naruto, you're strong. Better than I thought you'd be. We have to do this again. I was able to train close range kinjutsu with you, and I can see that your speed also increased. Just like I told you, Yujiro said, as she felt better about herself by the minute. You're right, this was much fun, said Naruto. I really enjoyed it. This fight showed me that I have to train much harder because I know you were holding back a lot. Just a bit more, she said. But actually, at the pace you're going, I believe that you have the progress to surpass me, my rival, she said. Yujiro smiled as the entire reason why she was doing this was because of something her father told her. Flashback. As Yujiro was currently facing off against her father, well, it was more like she was losing badly to her father. It was a wooden sword, but it still hurt as hell. Damn it. Why can't I hit you, Dad? You're so fast. Yujiro-chan, don't be silly. I have 10 times more experience than you. Plus, I know all about your styles, while you only know a few katas. Trust your father in this, it will be a while before you can hit me. But I don't expect you to beat your old man. At least not right now, he said with a smirk. I know that, Dad, but you're the only one I can test my abilities with. The academy didn't bring me a chance and the fellow Genins do not have the skill necessary. I have only you to measure my level with, she said. If you really want to test your skills, you have to find someone that can measure up to your abilities. You have to find a rival, said Mamondo, as you remember a certain Envu captain. In fact, you don't have to be the same age. Let me tell the story of a child prodigy I had the privilege to know back in Envu duty. His name is Kakashi Hatake, a genius. He was your age when he became a Jonin, and a year after that he joined Envu. Back then I was the best fighter in Envu, and I was just as you are now, in search for someone who I can test my skills with. Since Kakashi records was common knowledge, everyone was talking about him. So I decided to challenge him for a spar. I tell you, that spar entered the Envu histories as one of the most beautiful fights they ever witnessed. But something happened that day with me and Kakashi. We didn't stop growing as ninjas, both of us. Became stronger, both of us became faster. But since I was older, the time was a winning factor, and I didn't have the strength to keep up with the rivalry. 3 years since I retired from ninja duty, Kakashi was released, and became a full-time Jonin since the day, doing missions for the village. Do you know, Yujiro-chan, that the fourth Hokage was Kakashi, Jonin Sensei? Yes, he was, so all you need to do to grow stronger is find yourself a rival. As she smiled at that. I will, Dad, she said, as she wondered, who could she pick as her rival? In the flashback. Dad, I did. I found my rival just like you found Kakashi's hand. Aoba arrived as he started to clap. Congratulations, you two. Naruto, how did you get so fast all of a sudden? Well, since you defeat my clones with much ease, I had to take the gravity seal off, so I could fight with all my speed and my agility. Oh, I see, so Yujiro, tell me about Naruto's skills. And wait, did I hear correctly what you said? Are you considering him to be your rival? Aoba was shocked that out of all the Genis that graduated, a 6-year-old boy Naruto would be her rival. As for your first question, Aoba-sensei, Naruto's skills with taijutsu and agility was very good for his age, as his ninjutsu skills. Now, as to the rival thing, you heard right, Aoba-sensei. Naruto was the first one I'm able to test my abilities with, and I'm really looking forward to have another fight with you, Naruto-kun, someday. So you better train harder, because I'll be training harder as well. Next time, I'll win, Yujiro-chan, said Naruto with a challenging smile. We'll see about that, Naruto-kun, she said. Time skip. As the training continued, as Aoba worked on Naruto with his son Shin. Kurina was starting to get worried for Naruto though, as Aoba had to explain to her that he promised the fourth that he would train Naruto to the best of his ability, but Naruto wasn't having a normal life, as he was just studying and training. The group was now sitting down as they were currently talking about Naruto and the situation. Yujiro was lost in her thought, because unlike them she wasn't concerned about Naruto. It didn't mean that she didn't care about him, it's just that he was like her. They wanted to get stronger and faster, they wanted to improve, so she didn't really mind what he was doing. All of them were now looking at her. What she said. What do you think about the whole Naruto situation? Asked Kurenai. Huh? What are you talking about? I asked, what do you think about Naruto intense training at such an early age? Asked Kurenai. Well, I wouldn't worry about it so much, Kurenai-chan. The boy likes to train, big deal. There are a lot of shinobis that start their career sooner. Kakashi Hatake, a friend of my father, became genin when he was Naruto's age. Itachi Uchiha as well, said Yujiro as she got back to her dinner. The next day, As Naruto woke up, it was 12 p.m. already. As he remembered Aoba Sensei saying about chakra exhaustion, he pushed himself yesterday really hard. He looked around as he wondered how did he end up in his bedroom. As he remembered, he did 10 Sunshins. And he also worked on the clone jutsu and the tree walking. And everything went black. That was all he remembered. When he looked outside, he saw Team 2 already training. He got himself ready and made his way downstairs. As he saw Genma and Yujiro sparring, while Aoba and Kurenai was sparring as well. As Naruto came over, Aoba told him to relax today. After all, he was doing so much lately. He needed to relax to make his stamina and chakra flow grow even more. But Naruto was so happy about that. He wanted to train. But then thinking about it, he didn't really have days off. So he decided to relax for a bit. Making his way over to a tree, Naruto sat down as he closed his eyes and started to meditate. Meanwhile, Yujiro and Genma were taking a break and catching their breath. As Yujiro glanced towards Naruto, he's been doing that now for up to 30 minutes. She couldn't even meditate for at least 10 minutes. As usual, full of surprises, she thought. "What's the matter, Yujiro?" said Aoba. "Wonder what Naruto is doing." "Actually, yes. He has so much stamina. How can he just stay still for so long?" "You see, Yujiro, the Ford told me that at the beginning of Naruto exercise, he did meditation a lot. Actually, he quite liked it. By doing that, he focused chakra through any part of his body. But according to what I was told, he focused chakra through his ears mostly." "Why the ears, Aoba Sensei?" asked Kurenai. "The reason why I focus chakra through my ears is to train my hearing senses and listen to nature that most wouldn't identify," said Naruto as his eyes were still closed, but he heard the entire conversation from where he was. "Huh, that's one way to make an excuse for eavesdropping, Naruto-kun," Yujiro laughed. "Well, sorry about that," said Naruto. "I never intend on doing it that way, but since you're talking about me, it shouldn't be a problem, right?" said Naruto. As Yujiro realized another feat from a rival, he was a smart ass. After that was over, they went inside for lunch. As Aoba think that he would talk to Naruto about his life as a ninja, as it was going to come up very soon. But Naruto decided to speak first though. "Oh, that reminds me, Kurenai-san," he said. "I was thinking about buying some new books for my collection. The ones I had, I already read," he said. "Maybe after lunch we can go to a library that opened near here." Kurenai blinked as she looked at him. If she didn't know any better, it sounded like Naruto just asked her on a date. As the others started to look at him as well. As Naruto saw them staring at him, as he wondered, did he say something wrong? Or, is there something on my face? Naruto asked. "What's going on?" "Oh, it's nothing, Naruto-kun. But tell me why you invited me in the first place." "Well, since you would like to read so much, I figured if I asked Yujiro-san, well, she wouldn't want to go. And Genma doesn't read much as you either." "Oh? And why would I enjoy it, Naruto-kun?" asked Yujiro, as she wanted to tease him a bit. "Oh, it's nothing. It's just that since you didn't want to take a look at the books, I figured that you're more for practical stuff instead of theoretical stuff," he said. As she was still looking at him, that caused him to blush a bit. "That's enough, Yujiro. Stop teasing Naruto." "Spoiled sport," Yujiro mumbled. "I would love to go with you, Naruto-kun," said Kurenai. After a nod and smile, they started lunch, and Aoba little idea. Well, more like he gave Naruto a monologue of his experience as a ninja. Since he was raised a little before the last war ended, the circumstances were different, but there was still a bit in between. As he told about his genuine days, and his first kill, the Hokage had to give him some day off. He was just a young kid back then, and it really hit him hard. But he was talked to by his Jonin sensei, and he came to understand that missions like these were unexpected because killing was never supposed to happen there, but it was out of their hand. He also thought about joining Anbu, but one of his close friends joined Anbu and got killed, and that changed his whole perspective on that. As after that they went to the library. As the days passed, as Naruto continued his training, as he also found about his ability, which was Wind, as he had bought a book about Wind, and Naruto could imagine himself doing all those techniques. Before he start the chakra manipulation for elemental manipulation, he had to focus on water walking first. Well, once he was done with that, he could go on to the more advanced stuff. Time skip. Close to Konoha border, 4 stone chunins, and a Jonin was there as well. The last mission failed, and their Tsuchikage wasn't so happy about that. But they were sent there to capture the boy at all costs. Given that, with the yellow flash, knowing that his son is being held, the man would have to agree to all of their demands. As Tsuchikage knew that he could not face off against Konoha once again if there was another war, so instead he's going to take leverage. So this team was sent to capture Naruto Namikaze at all costs. Meanwhile, a team of Anbu officials were guarding the house, despite Team 2 also being there. Their captain, Itachi Uchiha, was chosen by the Hokage himself, just in case Team 2 could not handle it anyway. Itachi ordered for the team to be close, as he scouted the compound. From time to time, he did that, and now he landed down, as he was doing the same thing as he was in a tree. He suppressed his presence to the point where not even Aoba could detect him. Right now, Itachi was watching a small blonde run around the compound and training. As Itachi looked at Naruto, as he started to take interest in him. Itachi was a part of the Uchiha clan, but their, well, attitude towards their bloodline were making them rather sloppy. Once they developed the Sharingan, all they did was copy their abilities. They did not train, they did not work for it. Itachi was probably the only one that didn't rely on his dojutsu so much, and focus on training his body inside his eyes so much. And he was watching that little blonde do the same thing, even though it wasn't Uchiha. He was pushing himself hard, as Itachi saw the sweat dropping off the boy's face. As Itachi knew that Naruto could use his father's name, and act all arrogant, but no, the boy did not. He chose to become stronger by training. That is why he got some interest in Naruto as he watched the blonde train. Time skip. Slow down, Naruto. You're pushing yourself too hard, said Kurenai, as she was appointing some ointment in Naruto's bruises. He had summoned 3 clones, and they were going at it really hard, and he got hurt. Sorry, Kurenai-san, didn't see the last one behind me. Fight 3 of them at one time. It's sure some heavy stuff. But I'll get them next time, said Naruto. Wait, you're not doing it again, are you? Until you're more advanced or something like that. Fighting 3 opponents at once, you can't cover all your blind spots. And not to mention the bruise you got was to be worse. You told your clones to not take it easy on you at all, didn't you? I have to become stronger, Kurenai-san. I know that you're worried about me, but I don't have the luxury to slack on my training. Hell, I don't even want to take it easy, I want to become stronger. So that people wouldn't think to protect me. Like I'm some little weak kid. As I would start to protect them. Kurenai-san, I understand what you mean, but please, try not to get hurt next time, she said. Got it, said Naruto as he got to see that smile. Thanks for taking care of me, he said. No problem, she said. She smiled at him as he smiled back. The tale showed Naruto was sad about being protected all the time. Yes, he was young, but normal. Young people didn't have to worry about that. It was because of his reputation and his father, and this whole stone thing with Konoha. But on the other hand, he was happy. He was getting stronger, and he met 4 new friends and a rival in New jail. Returned to the task at hand, Naruto summoned 2 clones, so that Kurenai wouldn't worry about him. Yujiro tried to meditate, but given the person that she is, she couldn't do it, as she had to jump up and just slice with her katana, practicing her kinjutsu. As Naruto walked over to her, tell me something, he said. Do you have something that relaxes you? Relax me? Well, yeah, the hot springs. But why are you asking Naruto, she asked. If that's the case, try closing your eyes, and imagine you're taking one of the best baths you ever took. She sat down. Now as you're taking that bath, try channeling chakra to your ears, and focus on the wind as well. So continue to sit in that position, and listen to the water around you, in that cool, soothing position. Yujiro sat down, as she felt so calm, as she was thinking about taking a bath, in that cool, hot temperature water. It was really working. As Naruto went back to his tree climbing, the group went and got some lunch after that. Later that night, Naruto was finishing up his training for the day. Seeing the blonde outside, Team 2 could only sigh inside. They had been practicing the entire day, and they were exhausted. As Naruto yawned, he was tired, he wanted to get some sleep, when he saw Shadow. Huh? He looked up as he leaped away. A massive boulder smashed in the ground where he was. Since Naruto was alone in the garden, as the stone team had blocked the entrance, so that Team 2 couldn't stop them. Who are you? Naruto noticed. Why, are you after me? He says he noticed your clothing. Well, it's because of your father and what he did to us. But you guys were fighting against Konoha as well. It was war. My father had to do that. Nevertheless, he killed too many people. And we want to kill him as well. But he's just too strong. But you on the other hand, as one of them rushed forward, we're gonna take you instead. As he drive a kick towards Naruto's stomach. He was surprised Naruto leaped out of the way. But the man was coming down on Naruto hard. He was a chunin. The man was fast. As Naruto dodged and weaved out of the way as best he could. But he couldn't dodge forever as the man slammed the fist into his face. Naruto rolled on the ground before he picked himself up. As he wiped away the blood on his face, he placed hands together quickly. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, he said, as 5 clones poof into sight. He now had the numbers, but he knew it wouldn't last long. As his clones attacked, as Naruto vanished. The Chunins took out his clones rather quickly. Where did the brat go? One of them looked around. I don't know, he just disappeared. Is that Genjutsu? No, it can't be. He's only 6 for God's sake. Meanwhile, inside the compound, Team 2 couldn't make their way through, as all the exit for the garden was blocked off. Aoba Sensei, we have to do something, said Genma, as he looked around. I know that, Genma. Damn it, Aoba says he looked around. We're trapped. The area was blocked off with a wall of mud. Well, they didn't know the house as well as Naruto, despite Naruto showing them around. So, when Naruto suddenly appeared, it surprised them, as Aoba noticed a wind, as Naruto's hand went into his son's shin. Before he could question him on that though, well, there wasn't time. The two girls rushed over. Naruto-kun, are you okay? As he checked him over. Yeah, I'm fine, said Naruto. What happened? Asked Aoba. I left them there in my clones to fight them. As Aoba turned his head, he still heard fighting outside. But they are gone now, said Naruto. Aoba looked at Naruto strangely because he heard fighting. The mud wall then went down. Standing there was 4 Anvus and the 3 Chunins. As the Anvu captain came in. How are you, Naruto-kun? As he looked at Naruto, as Naruto smiled. I'm fine, he said. That was very smart of you, using Sunshin to get out of the way. It actually made our job a lot easier. Oh, it was nothing, big brother, said Naruto. If Aoba Sensei hadn't taught me the technique, then I wouldn't have escaped, said Naruto. Naruto, do you know him? Why do you call him big brother? Asked Kunai. Yeah, I know him, said Naruto. He came and taught me how to improve my taijutsu once. He's very nice, and he's strong as well. I want to be just like him and big brother Kakashi when I grow up. Well, the reason I call him brother is, I consider him and Kakashi like they were my big brothers. The Anvu captain smiled at Naruto. My team will be taking the enemies up to Ibiki for christening. See you later, Naruto, said Itachi, as he vanished out of sight. Once all of that was over, Aoba looked at Naruto as he wondered how the hell did Naruto learn elemental manipulation. The next day, as Minato came back, as they came to an agreement with the hidden cloud, Minato was angry that the stone tried to kidnap his son once again. He was happy that Naruto got away, but what Aoba told him at the end surprised him. Wind release, body flicker technique. Naruto was able to combine the body flicker with those wind manipulation. How? And when did he learn wind manipulation? As Aoba told Minato that he didn't see any material that could teach him that. So Minato had no idea. Naruto just keep on breaking his expectation every time, as he knew that he was more than ready to join the academy. Time skip. 2 weeks after the failed attack, Naruto got the tree walking down, and now he was working on the water walking, as he saw it in the wind manipulation book. Since Aoba was no longer teaching him, he needs some pointers about the water walking. Though the book said once the tree walking was done, the water walking shouldn't be so hard. It was just it with a different concept. You had to control the flow of chakra towards the water, and control the distance of the water to your feet. Next week, Naruto will be starting the academy, and he was so nervous as he knew that Neji would be starting the academy as well. Even though he made Yuji his second rival, Neji was his lifetime rival. Right now, Naruto was facing off against 4 of his clones. As Minato was watching and smiled, his son was handling himself well against 4 different opponents at once. As Minato looked at him, he was so proud. To be so young, but to be already so advanced in his studies already. Seeing that his father seemed to be lost in his thoughts, Naruto vanished. As Minato felt it, the usage of wind chakra, as Naruto appeared behind him and swung a kick after his father, only for Minato to turn and blocked it. As Naruto started to laugh. Almost got you, he said. Minato started to laugh as well. As Kushina came out, she was there. She was smiling. No, she realized she had nothing to worry about. As she came over with a smile, Naruto-kun, why don't you get upstairs and get ready for breakfast, she said. Sure thing, mom, said Naruto. I did a lot of exercise today. After breakfast is over, can we go and visit Neji, Naruto asked. Okay, Naruto-kun, said Kushina with a smile, as he rushed off to go and get a shower. As Kushina and Minato watched him go with a smile on their face. Don't worry, Kushina-chan, he'll be just fine. The boy enjoyed being a shinobi more than anything, said Minato. It's no use trying to take it away from him now. Besides, him and Neji are entering the academy next week. Plus, as you can see, our little son is growing. I know, Minato-kun, she said. I am no longer worried about that. I can see that he just loves to play while training, she said. Yeah, you're right. With his skills and his looks, he'll become the perfect shinobi, just like his dad. And I heard that he's already gained some female attention. Way to go, my boy. Hey, why are you looking at me like that, he asked. What do you mean by that, said Kushina. Minato gulped, as he knew that Naruto was still young now. But there was 2 girls on team 2. And when Naruto get a bit older, given his looks and how polite and nice the boy was. Not to mention he already heard that he made a rival out of Yujeu, and also kind of asked Kunai out to the library. Well, you see, the team involved to watch over Naruto had two Kunoichis that took a liking to our little boy. One that is a Kinjutsu specialist, asks our boy to be your rival, and the other one, accompany him to the library for a new book. No need to worry, Kushina-chan. Kushina narrowed her eyes, but she smiled. If you say so, Minato-kun, she said. Well, me and Naruto are going to visit Neji, and I think I'll get him some academy equipments. He's starting next week. Probably a new outfit, kunais, shurikens. As she smiled from ear to ear, thinking about her little son as Konoha finest one day. Good idea, Kushina-chan. Well, I have to go to the office, said Minato. As he gave her a quick kiss. I love you, he said. I love you too, Minato-kun, she said. And with that, he headed off. After a while, Naruto finished his shower, as he came downstairs, and he started to eat his breakfast. After that, the both of them headed out. As they arrived towards the Haiga compound, as they made their way in. As Teiko was inside the living room, so Kushina went to talk to her. They had prohibited the two boys from fighting now. The reason being, the last time they went at it, they ended up with some nasty scars. So they told him to take it easy. So despite him wanting to spar and Neji wanted to spar as well, they had to take it easy. Their mothers were very serious about that. So, I heard that you're entering the academy. Good, because I'm going to be entering as well. And this time, our parents won't be around. And the teachers will want to see how strong we are, so we can push ourselves to our limits. I'll have you know I've been training father in the advanced ways of the Jayuin strike. Well, I'm entering the academy as well, and I have not been slacking my training either. When the day comes we can test our strength against each other. I can't wait, said Naruto with a smile. As Hisashi overheard their conversation with a smile on his face. As such rivalry will only help them improve. As he went over to talk to the two boys a bit. After some time, Kushina bid her friend goodbye, as she wanted to buy him some shinobi gear for the academy that will be starting in 1 week. Tenko smiled and bid her friend farewell, as Kushina called for Naruto so they can go back to Namikaze compound. But little did he know his mother had something in store for him. Time skip. At the Uzuki residence, as Yuji was in the garden training, her father was surprised when she came back to describe Naruto's skills and what the 6-year-old boy was already capable of. He was a Hokage's son, but from what Mamoru heard, the boy was training intensely. Seems like he was serious about his inner studies. Yuji on the other hand was working hard with her gravity seal that was placed on her. As she sliced through the air, her body felt weighted because of the seal. As she remembered how she got it. Flashback. 1 week after the kidnapping attempt, Naruto was making his way towards the library to see if nothing new has arrived, when he heard someone calling his name. As Yuji came up to him. Yuji, how do you do, said Naruto. I'm fine, Naruto-kun, she said. Listen, I would like to ask you a question about your gravity seal. How does it work? Can I use it? Or is it something that Hokage-sama created for you to use? She remembered when you released his gravity seal and that huge burst of speed. Well, it worked by increasing the natural force in your body, naturally increasing your body weight. With it, moving is rather difficult, seeing that the gravity force is a lot stronger. The way you can move with them is by pumping chakra to your legs as you move with them. This exercise gives you better control over your chakra. It's quite easy to activate after being applied. You can put more than one seal on your body to increase the weight as you're getting used to it. But it's quite dangerous seeing that heavy muscles if you put too much. But yeah, people seem to use it well. Why, Naruto asked. Well, I was hoping if you could put one on me. It's not fair if you use this and your rival don't. As Naruto mumbled, she didn't realize that she was 8 years older than him, right? But she didn't hurt him. Sure, but I see you understand the risk. Once I put one of the gravity seal on you, it will be hell to get used to. Are you okay with it? She nodded. Okay, so where do you want me to put it, said Naruto? As he blushed a bit, seeing that he has skins on his chest. Would she want him to put it there as well? She saw him blushing. She decided to tease him a bit. Wherever you like, Naruto-kun, she said. As Naruto turned bright red, as she chuckled a bit. Teasing apart, she said. I want it right here on my arm, she said. Okay then, said Naruto. Extend your arm. As Naruto brought to the paper tag as he placed in her arm, he then went through a simple advanced signs as he made it active on her. She fell on the ground the moment it was applied. Yuji tried to pull herself up, but she was having troubles. As she looked up at Naruto, Yuji-san, in order to move the gravity seal active, you have to use chakra, not brute strength. It increases your body up to 20 pounds per seal. So if you think about it, you weigh 20 pounds more with a seal. She looked at him and she wondered how the hell he could take this and be normal, despite using chakra. As she focused her chakra, as she was able to slowly get to her feet. Harder than you think, huh? You don't say, she said. But she smiled. This will help a lot. Thanks, Naruto-kun, she said. Although mentioned, he said to her. In the flashback, the results were paying off tremendously. as she has been getting faster and stronger. As she had a smile on her face, she would just continue to improve. Meanwhile, with Kushina and Naruto, as Naruto wondered where they were going, as Kushina was smiling the entire time, as he found his mother's behavior rather suspicious. Kushina was taking Naruto to a local weapon shop that she went by, meantime when her and Minato were tuning. As the both of them arrived at the establishment, as Kushina gestured for him to follow her, as they made their way inside, Naruto's eyes widened when he entered, as he looked around in amazement. Shelves and shelves of ninja weapons. There were senbons, holsters, katanas, yugawashi, bow staff, kunai, shurikens, everything. As he turned his head left and right every moment, glancing at everything. Surprise, Naruto-kun. We're here to buy you some ninja equipment and clothing that will aid you in battle. So what kind of holster would you like? Color, and how many of them, she said. Naruto turned as he hugged his mother, as she looked at him with a smile. I don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting this at all. Thanks, Mom, he said. You're most welcome, Naruto-kun. But eventually you'd have to come here to buy it and all, but I just wanted to surprise you early. I want to see that look on your face, she said, as she pinched his cheek, as Naruto smiled the entire time. Now, what is it going to be? As Naruto looked around, black holster, 2 of them. I'll go and check out the clothes now, okay, Mom? As Kushina made her way, looking at the kunais and shurikens, as Naruto went towards the clothing section, as he wanted a color that would not attract too much attention. As he was looking for her pants, his eyes caught movement as he saw a girl. She was dressed in a Chinese outfit, as she was picking up some boxes from her room. He turned his head back as he looked at cargo pants, black ones that Envoy used. These would be perfect. After that, t-shirt and fishnet shirts, as he wanted to use fishnet shirts. As he mentally pictured his new look, he smiled, knowing that he was able to choose his outfit. Just as he dressed up his new attire, his mother came to see what he picked out. She was surprised he picked out such a wonderful outfit. The whole package fit him perfectly. You managed to get some good outfit, Naruto-kun, and it makes you look just so much handsome, she said. Mom, please, Naruto said, as she always made him blush like crazy in embarrassment. What, you do? Now take a look at these fingerless black gloves I found. They match your outfit. Try it on, let's see. Naruto placed on the gloves, as they fit perfectly. Damn it, Minato-kun, said Kushina in her mind, as she looked at Naruto, as she was worried about the fangirls trying to steal her baby away from her. Thanks, Mom, said Naruto, snapping her from her thought. They're perfect. Alright, let's go. Tenaki-san, she said, going towards the shop register, as she placed on everything that Naruto would need. Alright, Kushina-san. So, this is Naruto. I figure you're entering the academy this year, right? My daughter will start her attending this year as well. She's quite anxious to get away from the shop for a while, to become a ninja and test herself, especially when it comes to weapon. She has a life for weapons like no one I've ever met before. As Naruto remembered the girl that he saw with the boxes. Must be her. Meanwhile, with Team 2, as they were working on elemental manipulations and going further with ninjutsu training, Aoba felt bad seeing that he didn't have the water affinity that he could help Yuji with. But her father had it, so he didn't have to feel so bad. But he still felt incredibly bad, as he decided to teach her some other abilities that will be useful for her fighting style to make up for not having the water affinity to teach her. He will also have to get someone with water affinity to get that scroll and give her some techniques to work on as well. Meanwhile, with Naruto, after getting back home, as his mother made lunch for the both of them, as Naruto sat and talked with her and ate his lunch. Until that was over, he went back upstairs. The next page in the wind book was a E rank wind jutsu, wind style, wind breeze jutsu, and he really wanted to try his first wind jutsu. Little did he know, he already did that by adding wind jutsu into the Sunshin. As Naruto opened and started to read where he stopped last time, he could learn D ranks, jutsus about wind. Once he mastered 3 walking exercise, C and higher, he will have to master the water walking. Naruto smiled to himself, as he's just getting more and more stronger. He couldn't wait to start the academy. You just watch and see, Neji, Yujiu. As those names came to his mind, his 2 rivals. The next time either of them fought, he would be ready, as he will not stop his training. He will continue to advance, no matter what. But guys, be in this episode right here. If you want to support this, what to do, like, subscribe, comment, no and turn on the bell notifications they posted. And stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But for now, see you guys very soon. Peace.